that girl who knows how to infuse her water. Yay, it's a skill set, right? I had to learn, just like how everyone else has to learn it too. And many of you hear me repeat a few things in sessions, which are very true and important to help empower you, right? We all know I say interns are free because they are. QHHT sessions with interns are free. And I would think by now everyone's probably tried to check out where their local interns are and check them out and given them a really beautiful gift, you, to be able to explore things in sessions, right? That's fantastic. That's part of your service to humanity, is supporting these practitioners who love and respect, ideally, Dolores Cannon, right, and her work and the profound information from these sessions. You know, the most ideal practitioner you could find is someone who has read her books, done heaps of their own sessions as a client, and has done a lot of their own inner work and is open to every possibility out there and not shutting down any of your questions, any of your problems, any of your concerns, any of your 3D dramas. Right? They must be able to love you and respect all of you. So there's that. So anyway, fun times. So a lot of people are sort of drinking water like this. This woman in New Zealand told me to drink water because it's going to empower me. No, nothing. Knew it was shit. Knew it wasn't going to work. Didn't feel anything. I still feel dense as F-U-C-K. So there's one approach. We can't just drink this water and just think, you better do it. You better work for me. You know, Joanne said, you know, this water is high vibrational, prove it. If you're coming in from this perspective of, oh, it's a chore, I've got to do this for the vehicle, blah, 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 blah. You know, you're already dismissing it and you're not celebrating it. And so I have a big jug of water, and as I'm pouring the big jug of water, it is filtered water. I have to say it is, we use a reverse osmosis filtering kit, and we've had it for years, and I keep changing the filters on it. And so it removes every heavy metal, every chemical, every blah, 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 blah. And so, and I know I've heard in sessions that sometimes we find that ourselves with supply of dead water. Perfect, right? Fantastic. What we can do with dead water, since we know that everything can be reincarnated and alive and all this sort of stuff. What they're talking about when you hear the statement dead water is that it doesn't have lots of really good gut bacteria, beings living in there, which we don't want to really think about because it'll be too gross to think, yeah, I'd love to drink a whole billion bacterial things that help my gut flora. So tasty. Like you're probably never going to see that on a label, you know, especially for the vegans. So there's that. So, you know, I love you all. So anyway, you know, definitely watch yourself when you are playing with your water, and you really need to be so grateful for it. Right? From my understanding in sessions, water didn't just naturally evolve here, right? It was brought here as a gift from many different planets to be able to help with this energy frequency. It's your family. It's gifts from home. And so what we want to do with the water is honor it because it's so old and ancient, right? Just like our souls. This is why we're so tired, you know, so old and ancient. And so we need to kind of match our maturity with it and our efforts. And so when we're trying to infuse water with love, it is truly just appreciating it. Thank you so much for empowering my body. I really love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for filling all my cells in my body with high frequency. I really appreciate that help, right? Because ultimately it is a tool we're using. Goodness, it is a tool we're using to be able to help flush out the density in our cells, because our cells have memory. Our muscles have memory, our bones have memory. A lot of that sort of, you know, a lot of stuff is holding on to traumas and density and things that no longer serve us. As we are not wanting to deal with it. So a lot of stuff is coming through now to be able to help purge this. And the water is a really important thing. So I had heard in a session where the SC was saying, you have to infuse the water with love. yourself as well, right? This is part of us being responsible for what we're putting in our bodies, and actually give it the love and gratitude that we deserve, instead of just thinking and taking it for granted. I think a lot of people accidentally take a lot of things for granted. And when we take things for granted, we can become really lazy with it and unappreciative of it. And so when we take the warmth of the sunshine for granted, when we take the abundance of good, healthy air and a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, yes, you can start thinking about all the negatives, right? So how are we going with our days and our mindsets? Is it, the cup is half empty, or is the cup half full? Or is there abundance and love and fantastic, and there is enough for all, and you are attracting fantastic high frequency friends and thought processes and healing and a whole lot of that sort of stuff. So please take some time just to really honor the water that you're consuming in your body. Because if you do have not such a great water supply, you're wanting to uplift it and release it too. So don't focus on, oh, you poisonous so-and-so with all these chemicals and all this trash and, definitely chemtrails in my water and blah, 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 blah. And it's probably come through some fish's anus, like when you start hyper focusing on, where that water has been, we're not dating the water, we're just using the water and it's allowing us to use it. And so we want to be able to create a higher frequency with it, because we're so freaking powerful. More powerful than crystals, more powerful than anything when we set our intentions to do it, right? And it goes in reverse if we don't honor things. If we're thinking, this woman in New Zealand keeps telling me to drink water, and she doesn't even like my favorite hobby, which is running. So, how dare she? If you're thinking negatively, you're actually feeding that into the water and putting that around you. And so water is, super sacred. Think of it as liquid crystals, and really empower yourself through that. So also another thing they wanted me to sort of remind you as well is, when you are drinking the water and empowering yourself to love yourself, I'm drinking this water because not only do I love this water and everything that it's going to replenish me with, I love myself. Boom, right? Boom. You're really getting, you're stepping up. You're really you're participating in this love thing, right? Because that's really what our collectives are begging us to be, loving in everything we're doing. And so if we're catching ourselves talking smack about ourselves or talking smack about others, it doesn't really serve us, right? Just accept all, have no grudges, be empowering to yourself, to see the good in everyone, and just understand that everyone's at certain stepping stones, right? And we can, try to be the best version of ourselves with our own responsibilities and our own maturities and our own seeing, is the sugar that we're eating really serving us, or is this still swelling our brains? So are we honoring our food? Are we honoring the water? And are we also doing it for others? Are we, I can think about all of you right now, and you're getting that cup of water ready, and I'm just going to put a big love bubble over that water and say, you deserve this. You deserve this healing. You deserve this high frequency. You deserve this love. And I'm imagining that you're just, you're drinking it and you're giggling because you're remembering some really lame joke that I said once upon a time to lift your vibration too. So yeah, you're welcome. For those of you that are really in tune with my humor, I'm hoping that some water, snot bubbles out of your mouth as you're laughing at some of the fantastic jokes I've shared, right? Or not. And that's the joke that's the joke. So there's that. So anyway, when you're drinking this water, imagine this. So I know, the water goes through and goes into our stomachs and blah, 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 blah. What they're wanting us to imagine when we're drinking this water, it's coming, down through the throat, and it is bursting high frequency love and energy out. It's, pushing itself out, and then it's coming down to the heart. It's pushing out all this high frequency. It is just expanding and within your body, and as it kind of goes through and all the way through, my friends, your body, you're just imagining that this water is just expanding and pushing out the density, and it's healing, and it is shining, and it is crystalline, and it's all fantastic, and it's all for you, and it's all to empower you to be able to make you grow fearlessly with confidence, encouragement, remembering who you are, remembering why you're here, and remembering your purpose to be of service. Boom, right? Powerful. So powerful. I remember when I started learning about the power of water and trying to promise to myself every time I would do it, I would have a gulp of water and just think, I love myself. And I remember being like, oh, God, what an asshole, loving myself. Like I really struggled with it, right? And I'm still working to really, truly honor and love myself. But sometimes, I take myself for granted. Oh, she already knows it. So, it is still a stepping stone, and everything that we're sort of resisting is showing us where we need to expand, where we need to grow. If we're still trying to shrink away from certain things, that is your inner work. What are you shy from? What are you not wanting to empower yourself with? And we really needing to focus on everything that we have as routines. And we really need to pay attention to what we're listening to in ourselves and what our minds, our inner chatter is saying, because lots of people are still running to listen to other people's chatter in their own minds, right? And their own perspective of the ways of the world and blah, 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 blah. Now, check fact that. Is that your truth? Is that how it works for you? And how does truly loving yourself honestly look for you? And how do you take full responsibility of we all know we're one, right? We've established that. So while you're being a fraction of one, while you're being yourself, which is super and powerful, how are you expressing that? How are you using your part to be a part of all? What are you doing? And how are you representing and expressing that and presenting that to the world, to yourself and to others around you in your world? Lots of people feel like, well, I can't reach 1 million people or even 1 billion people. So what's the point? I'm not going to get out of bed for anything less, right? I'm not going to do my inner work if I can't empower and inspire millions. And this is why a lot of people don't even bother starting. I can't be as big as I want. A lot of practitioners have said this to me, which is very interesting, right? They want to be Dolores. They want to be fantastic. And, that's a choice. That's interesting. No one can be Dolores. Dolores was herself, and no one can be you. Only you can be you. So you do you. You're fantastic. You've got your own designer package, life contract and mission and all this sort of stuff to be fantastic for you. So trying to replicate Dolores, for example, is never going to work. She was unique and specific in her own life contract. So what are you trying to do to really make it work for you, to empower humanity? Because sometimes a lot of people think, if I can be Dolores, I can sell lots of books, I can be really famous, I can travel the world, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cute, but that's not what Dolores really was. Yeah, that's part of her, but there was a lot of other things as well, including her integrity with this work, her respect for this work, and her respect for her clients. So get those 3 basic foundations going and you will be fantastic in your own right. So there's that in my opinion. So what else were they saying? They really want you to take time and honor yourself with this water and to really imagine it just exploding within you with love. Not negative exploding, positive exploding, right? So it's all perspectives. I'm going to share some private parts of my sessions. And I really love being able to do sessions where I only have a few of my own personal questions, and then the practitioner can just kind of ask whatever just randomly pops in their heads. And I feel like that's really profound because, often we don't quite know the right questions to ask and we overthink it and blah, 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 blah. And so we use our free will to be asking the subconscious, what's next? What are we supposed to know? What is important now? What is significant? Yada, yada, yada. Isn't it fantastic, my friends, to be reminded of who we are? slightly evolved monkeys, right? Some of us are a little bit hairier than others. That's all cute and all. But as we know from our actual evolution, we are truly still just evolved monkeys. Sorry about it, religious people, but that's what it comes out in sessions, right? That it was the Palladians who have had support from the Arcturians to be able to build and design these humanoid bodies. And, you know, they have started the foundational structures of this from the monkeys. And so, you know, it's kind of interesting how we have seen so much out there in the mainstream media to remind people of certain events to help them overcome certain other past lifetime traumas, right? One could say that you know, if you died from the plague or the Black Plague, for example, you know, or if you died with the viruses that were happening in Atlantis, for example, you know, the whole C-19 would have triggered your soul into being reminded of this fear, going back into the same level of fear that you were in all those other lifetimes to be able to overcome it and, you know, mostly survive, you know, for those who did. So there's that. Everything that is happening in the mainstream media that everyone's talking about is a correlation to another past lifetime where many people had those experiences and a really negative impact, which now they're learning to grow from and heal from and overcome from, right? This is how we know about nuclear wars have really triggered a lot of people and affected a lot. Just wars in general, my friends, right? Wars in general. Many people who have, you know, most people who have had multiple lives here have been in a war, you know. So while we sort of think not in my lifetime, cool, correct, but factor in all those other lifetimes and factor in there is no such thing as time, and so factor in that it's all happening now to your soul essence. I've had so many clients that have been blown up in wars, and that's part of their scoliosis problems. Oh, I love myself. It's so simple. Okay, so see how much joy it is? It's just an espresso of love, isn't it? So okay, so anyway, humbling ourselves, remembering who we are, monkeys, right? So therefore we should have the pox upon us. And so, you know, the plague, so much stuff that we know from other lifetimes, other experiences that we still are trying to release because it no longer serves us with that, in that density and that fear in those interactions and experiences. We you know, all, it's like they're cramming everything into it to give everyone the opportunity to process something, go back into the density, worry, fear, and overcome it with sort of more of a rational experience while you didn't die from it. All right, so everything's about, hey, you didn't die from it, you've overcome it. Hooray, because often when it's perceived as a sudden death, that can leave kind of a residue trauma that people want to overcome. And they always knew that you could overcome these things in other lifetimes, and this is the lifetime for it, right? Given the fact that we're hearing in sessions, no one's able to reincarnate here, you're cramming everything into this lifetime. That's why it feels busy, right? Busy. You're experiencing so much, you've been triggered by so much because you're unpacking things. It's like, you know, a feverish child at Christmas morning. You don't even care what you're unpacking, but you're just wanting to rip off everything and just get to the bottom of it all at this point. So there's that. So yes, it's very interesting what's coming up. So this is why they're saying it's super purposeful. And this is why they're saying they're still waiting for people to have certain experiences to be able to be triggered, to have the opportunity to overcome from it. You may not learn the purpose of it. You may not understand the correlation between being afraid of the monkeypox, for example, and then having like a leprosy or some skin eating something, which did impact you and affect you other lifetimes. You potentially didn't even die from that, but maybe your loved ones did. And so you're healing. You're constantly trying to overcome and heal from other lifetimes. All purposeful. You chose those other lifetimes. You wanted those horrific experiences for whatever reasons. And now you are feeling into it again, but coming from a different perspective. And it's so much safer when you're not currently living in that actual experience. So nuclear war, for example, we can always imagine what it would be like, hideous, horrible, blah, 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 blah. Oh, back to reality. That was just a daydream of thinking what it could be. But we went back into that density as we're having that daydream and being able to unpack it. And then remember that's not our reality. Okay. So even if it was just, Joe, potentially other aspects of me, if I had other lifetimes, could have definitely been in there. And so am I making any sense? Should I just drink more water? So anyway, it's super significant. And when they say everything is purposeful, they're not joking around. It is like profoundly purposeful. But when they're talking to potentially hundreds of people, they can't get the exact specifics of what that purposeful is. So, this is why it's so important to have your own sessions, because you can get to really hear what is going on for you and why you're having to be experiencing certain things. Definitely explore your triggers in your sessions. Ask, why was I triggered with this? Why was I triggered with that? Whatever is still coming up. It's like they know you're having these sessions, so they will give you these profound hiccups of memories of certain things that you've gone through to then be prompted to ask those questions in sessions. It's all purposeful, right? They know. They're trying to remind you of certain things that you may have not even thought about. And so when I ask in sessions with my clients, anything happening recently that has just reminded you of some really random old time stuff from this lifetime, and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I was Facebook stalking and came across my ex-boyfriend. So random. Is it? Well, first of all, is stalking random? I think it kind of seems like it's very common these days and kind of, way of society. But what's not random is the fact that we had to explore him in a session to understand the significance and correlations. They were supposed to be together this lifetime, but he chose to, do other things and use his free will to, kind of fail on their contract. It happens. Right, it happens. And this is why she's still yearning for him and still feels like she's cheating on her current husband, because she still remembers that life contract that they had together, that they were supposed to actually grow together and support each other. But he didn't play up to his part. And this is so frustrating when we have life contracts with each other and then they don't play their role. They don't use their free will. Forget about it. Heaps of fish in the sea. Well, not according to your contract, but people will work around it. Your guides will work around it. We are using our free will to do so much. And, when we were supposed to truly learn from someone and we didn't get that opportunity, potentially, the guides will figure out someone else to come in. But, those relationships where you were supposed to really grow from each other and grow with each other, for each other. But there is clauses in the contracts when we use our free will. So sometimes we do go really, 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 really off path, because we were all designed and prepped and prepared and planned for moving forward together. So fascinating, right? So, and of course, there are also other people that have been with others in their relationships and they should not have been. Because it's stagnant. They were supposed to just learn to be able to be friends and grow apart. And, because of religious reasons or whatever, because of the kids or whatever, they stay together. And, potentially if you've got heaps of other life contracts, if you have heaps of other lifetimes where you've got a lot of other karma to play off through other people, and you're supposed to get married 6 times this lifetime and you're like still stuck on number 1. It's all fine. It's all fine. But it's so fascinating to experience and explore life contracts and what are we supposed to learn from each other. And it's the most interesting things, because you think it's the big players in your lifetime that you're supposed to, do this extra, like it's obvious, you've got life contracts with people you're living with. So check it out. Where is that? Where is it supposed to be explored? What are you supposed to be doing? How are you supposed to be perceiving them? Are you growing from them, or are they growing from you, and everything in between? It's so important to be able to understand life contracts and what you're wanting to learn from each other in your lifetimes. But it also is those funny ones where it's like, I have a life contract with my courier. That's like a post office man, right? Oh, so good. Aren't you just drinking lots of water and just celebrating and being in joy and honoring yourself and gifting yourself and empowering yourself? I am. And I love it. It makes me feel really like I'm doing something good. Anyway, there's that. So yeah, it's really interesting. These small little contracts that we have with people that can be really impactful. And so we promised each other in different life contracts. We promised each other that in this lifetime, with our contracts together, our guides would get us together and to be able to have an experience and an interaction together to be able to activate. I know I needed to activate him, and which will help him be able to activate others. And so it is energetics, and it is a whole lot of stuff, and it is to empower everyone and blah 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 blah. But it's super significant. And if we don't honor and really respect everyone that comes into our lives, to be open for what are the lessons here, what is the purpose here, what's the significance here. Sorry, I just put some easy air on my I don't want to support the brand, but the oils are good. And I'm trying to open up my airways because I'm so excited about a whole lot of stuff. And I know that it's early in the morning and I'm wanting to clear my congestion. So there's that. And so I just noticed my nose was running, probably because I'm just like flooded with water. So there's that. I'm trying to super hydrate myself because it's Saturday morning and I want to be really on the go today. All weekend we've got lots of things to do with the kids, and so I'm really wanting to be really super vital, and I want to really ground myself, and I really want to be able to be of service. And as we're traveling around, I want to be able to collect as much density as possible that is there to be able to transmute it and help everyone who's still sort of stuck and struggling to release it themselves. So it's always important. So yeah, sorry about that. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm really excited as I see more and more people are empowering themselves. And that is fantastic because we need more empowerment for everyone. And as we know, when we empower ourselves more, we're able to easily empower others because we're not in this judgmental density frustration. We're actually able to shine our energy, our light, our frequency around the place. We get around, and that is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. But if we don't ground ourselves, and if we're not empowering ourselves, we don't want to be social, we don't want to see anyone, we don't want to do anything, we just want to be here, and that's enough. Just being here is definitely enough. It is. But there is so much more we're capable of. And so I know many people want to be capable and being responsible to do much, much, much more. And so those people are the ones that are coming and listening. And also the subconsciouses are saying and wanting to remind you all, you are very, very, very capable, very, very, very capable, extremely capable of being everything you've ever wanted in this world and more. 100% without a doubt. And the more you are of service, and the more you're on purpose, and the more you're doing and following your life mission and experiences and contracts, the more you'll get and receive to be of higher frequency service. And so you can't fail at that. It is not possible for you to fail at that. So the more you are high frequency, the more you can, the more inner work you do, the more high frequency you can hold on to, the more you can share. And, it's this beautiful, 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 beautiful cycle. And it's fantastic. And all your subconsciouses are like jazz handsing because they really need our help. They can do only so much, but what they do is amazing and profound, and they're experts at it. And we as light workers, whatever you want to call us, we're also supposed to be experts at helping humanity. And so, humanity can drag us down if we choose. And sometimes we don't feel like humanity sort of deserves our joy or whatever we're holding ourselves back from, right? Whatever we're holding ourselves and not wanting to be of true service because, the haters or the retaliations or the confusion or something judgmental, something, that can really demotivate us. So stop seeking outside external praise for motivation to do something. It should be contained all within. And I know I always want to please my subconscious, and I want to follow and be guided through my subconscious to figure out how I can be best of service while I'm here. And this is important to me. And I know that there's always room for me to do more. Absolutely. Always. There's always room to do more. And so it is never ending, and it is empowering to be able to help support humanity, because that's what we're here for. So I know some people want to do it as like a hobby, and that sort of stuff, but it really denses, like when you're not actively choosing to empower yourself, the density will just flood you over, and you'll be that magneted, like trapped on the earth with the density, because you don't have that high frequency. You're not making those choices to empower yourself. So, it's significant. This is why they're really wanting us to look at our behaviors, our responsibilities, and our own perceptions and our own mindsets to things. It's a lot. This isn't a hobby life. This is not a holiday. It was supposed to be a holiday. We were supposed to have some fantastic holiday physical experiences on the earth, and it's just supposed to be lighthearted, but it's got way, 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 way more advanced than that, right? Way more complicated, because we've chosen to do it. So there's that. Anyway, please enjoy your water. And I do say that in all sincerity, because it is the best thing we can do for our bodies. And more so than any foods, or anything, any other liquids. We know that, right? So we want to really get back into honoring the water. And I say drink lots of water, but I forgot to keep reminding people the actual purpose and reasons why we're drinking the water, because we're infusing it with love, we're infusing it with gratitude, we're infusing it with self-love and all of that stuff, and then letting it expand upon us and trusting it is doing its amazing jobs. We can trust that. And if this is something that they're like screaming at me, lots of people still don't trust stuff. So please trust the water, and don't doubt it. Because, our minds are so powerful. If we doubt it and think, oh, it's crap, it's not going to help us, it's blah, 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 blah. Or blame, like, oh, I'm not going to drink water. I'll be up all night with my bladder. Oh no, I don't want to do that. There's a purpose and reason why they're wanting you to get up at night, if that's the case, right? To be here, to hold that frequency energy, to purge out all this energy, to transmute all this energy, potentially, blah, 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 blah. Everything is significant. So constantly be seeking and be mindful. What are the lessons here? What are the reasons here? What's the significance here? Because when you start seeing things from that perspective versus I'm a victim, I hate it here, blah, 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 sleepless nights, terrible, 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 you can see the difference. Anyway, enough mansplaining. I love you guys so much. And I really hope that you can enjoy some little snippets of my private session that we didn't think were going to be public, but at the end, they were sort of like, yeah, some of this could actually be edited to be public. So there's that. So there does, it gets a bit embarrassing because they do name a practitioner, but she's not a QHHT practitioner. So, I always feel a little bit sensitive about that because, it's, it is, I have to trust that they're doing the best they can, but it does sound like from the sessions, they haven't done enough inner work, and kind of using these types of sessions for not really true empowering humanity, which is always a bit disappointing, right? So there's that. But yeah, let's just pretend that they didn't say the name and we just are open-minded to potentially that it could be spoken about to many people. So anyway, that just popped in the mind of the practitioner, so we went with it, but I had no idea that question was going to be asked, and that's all fine. It's kind of what I like about these sessions is that I can completely distance myself from the session and not care about the questions and the answers, and then listen back to it and be like eating my popcorn, like, damn, really, that's so interesting. Being the vehicle is awesome, right? Let them take the wheel is cool, because that's when we can get to hear the true high perspective from these loving beings that love the shit out of us. If we could only just trust that and believe that, and then apply that to our daily lives, that would be fantastic. Okay, love you guys. Have a fantastic day.